Okay, I think that's done it. Am I sideways still? Am I still the David Lynch of live streaming? Can we get this show finally on the road here? Fuck. Right, so he's published another one. Another literary classic has come from the pig hooves of Ethan Ralph there. He's mashed away on the keyboard to bring us this. Now, I love these more than any other Pillstream countdown, more than any other ranting at the A-logs or shoving the trotters in the camera and saying you can't beat me. These are gold because what these tell me is who Ethan Ralph is. This is Ethan Ralph at his most serious. This is Ethan Ralph at court. This is Ethan Ralph having crafted sentences, read those sentences over and over and over again, edited this, and then published it. This is Ethan Ralph at his most professional, doing what he does. Apparently, he's a journalist still after all these years. And so what this tells me is that he wants me to take this seriously. Just like he wanted me to take the Father of the Year seriously, and just like he wanted me to take the last one he published, where Age Zero was like this meth crone who dated a sort of Keanu Reeves type figure who thought he had magical powers there, who wasn't just fucking Age Zero, but was also beating her quite horrifically. So that was the last article, right? And Ralph had a free meal. And this is a follow-up. This is a follow-up. Be in no doubt, right? There's not any sort of investigative journalism here. This isn't going to carry with it a political impetus, an allegorical freight, which we can all learn from. No, no. Now, for some reason, the stream has stopped. It's telling me the stream is over. It's no more. There's nothing I can... Am I even live? It's all in German, so I don't even know. I can't see if I'm live. All right, let's fucking go. He's published an article, third one in as many weeks almost. It's almost one a week now. It's called The Sunset Mindset. When I first saw it, I thought he'd finally written his suicide note. I got my hopes up there a little bit. Sadly, this is about wishing someone else death. These are always a great insight of who Ethan Ralph is, because this is Ethan Ralph at his most professional. Just imagine him in court. This is the Ethan Ralph we'll see. The professional journalist LARPer Ethan Ralph. He's crafted sentences here. He's mashed the pig hooves on the keyboard. He's formulated some words. He's even read over the article a few times before hitting submit. This isn't just a fiery, sort of crazy off-the-hoof interview. No. This is pure Ethan Ralph autism, designed to be the most damaging content nuke possible. Now, who does it concern? T-Clips. T-Clips is who it concerns. It's a laugh a minute. It's absolutely crazy what he's written here. He promises it's a 3-minute read, and as with all of these things, they always take a lot longer than 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to do our best. We're going to do our best. So, the sunset mindset. Sadly, not Ethan Ralph's suicide note. He italicizes this first paragraph. He says, "This morning I woke up to an extraordinary claim being leveled against me." Isn't that every single morning? Isn't that like every single morning of this man's life? An extraordinary claim that's completely true and has no fictitious embellishments. No, this is every morning. But apparently this morning was significant enough for him to write this article. He says, "Some fat cow in Phoenix that I made fun of a few times has accused me of flagging her channel." Now, the fat cow from Phoenix is T-Clips. Previously, he's called her Beluga Lee, which I thought was a fucking great name, right? I thought that was the best nickname he could possibly have come up with for Booba Lee T-Clips there. Sadly, we've resorted to Fat Cow. Now, whether he couldn't spell beluga and beluga Lee, whether that evaded him, who knows? But I think, I don't know, Fat Cow, is that it? Is that it? Beluga Lee would have been better. A lot better, quite frankly. So I was unaware of this, right? Because prior to this, I'd spoken to T-Clips like a few weeks ago now. And she told me that Andy Warski flagged her channel. So what's going on there, folks? But apparently it's Ethan Ralph. Ethan Ralph flagged T-Clips' channel. Now, I really do not care about any of this. All of this is garbage, absolute garbage. Whether someone is flagged or not, I simply do not care. I've been flagged about 50 times now. And you know what? It doesn't bother me. It absolutely doesn't bother me. It still surprises me that it's a cudgel for which to beat people with. Like, it's flagging. Who gives a shit, really? You know, all flagging really does is, first of all, stop monetization, which is a good thing, which is a net benefit to society. The second thing flagging does is what? Put you in community guideline strikes, which means that you have to start a new channel at some point. You can't keep the 100,000 subscribers you've got hostage anymore. You can't keep them captive. You can't keep the subscribers you've tricked into subscribing via gaming the algorithm anymore. No. You have to start a new channel and hope that your fucking relevance is still there for the few thousand subscribers to come and resubscribe again. So I really do not give a shit about flagging. The only way I care about flagging is it's a good weapon for which to beat people who denounce flagging with. You know, it really is. When you've got somebody like Ethan Ralph, who's built an entire career almost off the back of Mundane Matt's flagging, denouncing that, saying that it's a high crime, saying that it's a mortal sin. It's a good weapon to which to beat these people with. But I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's flagging. Is it a really great loss to society if T-Clips goes down? No. Let's be real. No. But it's a good weapon because it uses Ethan Ralph. It gets in his mind and it makes him produce stuff like this. It really does. So this Fat Cow, he says, keep in mind, this same Fat Cow has countless clips of mine on that same channel. Now, he says that as though she's stolen them, as though she's hoarded the clips, as though she's like gone into Ethan Ralph's house and cracked the safe. Maybe put a gun to Sandy's head and asked for the combination there and ran away with the clips. That's the way in which he says this. She's a clip channel. It's a clip channel, Ralph. But amongst her countless crimes is having countless clips of Ethan Ralph on that same channel. He says, I could literally take it down at any time with arguably legitimate copyright claims. Now, again, I would argue the arguably legitimate copyright claims. Ethan Ralph isn't Warner Brothers. He's not Howard Stern. He's not CBS or HBO. He's an alcoholic neat streaming from his mother's house with his child bride serving him alcohol. I mean, what copyright is there to hold? You know, what team of copyright lawyers are there defending the Ethan Ralph intellectual property? There are none. Zero. Maybe Gator. Maybe Nick. Well, maybe there was Nick Ricator before he defected. But alas, like, there's no copyright to be had. It's the kill stream. It's the kill stream. I mean, if he really wanted, like, copyrighted content to be fully preserved, put it all behind a paywall, which we'll breach anyway, but put it all behind a paywall, Ralph, because that's where it's all going to go anyway, isn't it? Eventually, you're going to get so pissed off with the negative clips, the taking me out of context clips, that you're going to put everything behind a paywall. So you've got a legitimate claim for which to flag everyone down. You've already done it with audio before. You've already tried the water, and it's been successful, certainly with D-Live. And I think with BitChute as well. I heard that BitChute have been flagging down the ballad of Ethan Ralph there that Mr. Medica on his deathbed, as he's dying from cancer, as he's hooked up to the chemotherapy tubes, he crafted for us one last hurrah from Daddy Jim there before he himself had a peaceful sunset. So here we go. I could literally take down T-Clips's channel. By the way, quickly, not once does he mention T-Clips at all, or even T-Clips's name. I mean, it's just so passive-aggressive. It's just so passive-aggressive. We're supposed to infer who this person is. Now, I imagine the people that actually do follow Ralph for his journalistic fruits are completely perplexed by what he's talking about, are completely baffled by what he's talking about, because he doesn't give any names. This is just a passive-aggressive, womanly rant. It's some fat cow on the internet. I mean, I imagine the mouth breathers that are Ethan Ralph's audience would actually believe that he is talking to a fat cow, standing in a field there, eating grass. He says, I have not flagged her channel down, and I will not do that. He's a man of honor, apparently. So, when you see the fake reports that are sure to follow this article, I want you to remember this statement. So he wants you to print this off, frame it, keep it at eye distance, keep it close to you at all times, just in case anyone brings up any false claims about Ralph flagging T-Clips's channel. This is the final word on the matter. There need be no other. This screed has been written. I mean, now I know it's been said, I know he himself has said it before, but I mean, during the research for my documentary, I have actually been trying to find out whether Ethan Ralph does have autism, right? I know he himself has said it sometimes on the show. I've got clips of him saying it in jest. He talks about how he doesn't like to mispronounce words. Pronunciation is a big thing to him, and he says that's part of his autism. He says that certain things are part of his autism as well, like sound and stuff like that. So I have been literally trying to work out whether he does have autism. So I've been going through the DSM-5, because what I've been seeing is a lot of parallels to Jahans, you know. Jahans, who's probably the most autistic person I know next to PPP, right? But you know what I mean? Like, Ethan Ralph has got to have some sort of autism just to go about and do this, because this reads exactly like a Farshnook article. It does. I mean, just like Jahans, he publishes these lengthy official screeds on his website in hopes that it's the final word on the matter. Just like Jahans, he streams at length every day. Just like Jahans, he's fucking crazy and he's got this weird personal life going on. And just like Jahans, he doesn't know when to back down. So, I mean, question, press 1. Has he got autism, folks? Has he got autism? Where is Gunterium? Upload Kino now. Does he have autism, folks? Press 1. I'm seeing a few ones here. Okay, I'm seeing an autistic spectrum of ones. He's got autism. It would make a lot of sense to me, right? It really would. Just the way he goes about things, because this is more than just alcohol. This is more than just the mother's medication. This is more than just the poo from the child bride. This is something else. This is something ingrained, isn't it? Fuck. He says, well, he now goes into the main meat and taters of the article here. This business is an interesting one. This business. Is it a business? Is this a business? Is Ethan Ralph's show a business? I mean, is it a business? Now, I know it's like some shady lemon grifting business, but I mean, is it a business? Is he filing tax returns? Is he in public handing out business cards saying that he's the owner proprietor of the RalphRetort.com and the Kill Stream? I mean, is he really doing this? Because this isn't a business, is it? It's just a person firing up a live stream every night, liquored up and on his mum's medication. You know, in the interludes from him, you know, angrily responding to tweets and the damn dirty A-logs. I mean, this isn't a business. It's never been a business. A grift at a push. He says, on one hand, they tell you not to respond to trolls. Don't feed them. Don't give them more material. This is Gator speaking. This is a Gator DM that he's just decided to italicize. Don't feed them more material. What you are doing. Surely you, the long-time host of the kill stream, understand the maxim. Don't feed the trolls. The thing is, though, like, don't feed the trolls works to an extent. I mean, I've never been one to personally like with what they're saying to Ethan Ralph. I've seen the DMs. Like, I see that, like, when I open up the fucking morning digest here, I see all the DMs from Ethan Ralph's fucking private group server, and I see what the fucking tactics are. And it gets to the point where I'm sort of doubting whether this is real or not. You know, and whether I'm being gay ops to talk about what I've got. And I think it's all real. I think it's all correct. Because what Gator and various other fucking capos left are saying to Ralph at this moment in time is just focus on the show. Focus on the kill stream. Ignore all the drama. Ignore your crazy personal life. Ignore all the A-logs. Which would be great advice, wouldn't it? If Ralph's show wasn't called The Kill Stream, if it wasn't founded on the back of drama and ruining people's lives, if it wasn't found on the fucking the mountain of skulls that constitute, like, what, Mundane Matt in who's that one? The fucking Monkey Jones, you know, and Boogie. You know, the lowest of the low, and Sargon, if it wasn't founded on the back of, like, destroying all of their lives, then maybe they'd have a point. But the show is drama, isn't it? Isn't this the show? Isn't this the show, Ralph? It is the show. But when they're saying don't feed the trolls, they're giving you poor advice. Because I want a war. You want a war deep down, Ralph. That's why we do this. We want a fucking war. I bought a general's uniform, which I'm going to wear to send the neat samurai to war. And I'm going to do so with fucking drums going on in the background. War drums! I'm ready for war, Ralph. I coached PPP on how to go to war. I'm ready. I've got the sunset mindset, Ralph. I'm ready to go to war, and you're ready to go to war as well. You're saying you want to fucking drop the nuke. You want to kill us all. Do it. Like, for fuck's sake, make it entertaining again. We want to give people a good Christmas because they're going to be locked away in COVID hell with Biden as president. It's going to be a fucking nightmare for all and sundry. No one's going to have a turkey this Christmas. No one's even going to have a PS5 because all of the pre-orders have sold out. All they're going to be left with is their Poxy Switch lights, Hollow Knight, and fucking at least a tiny fragment of drama, of escapism going on in their lives. Now, if we can have a fucking festive Christmas fight, isn't that the best for all involved? It makes you money. It gets me the sort of fucking crazy dopamine rush that keeps me going. It's a win-win for everyone, and the 47 neat Ronin at home get to escape the misery of their lives. Fucking Josh in the Siberian wilderness fighting off the wolves on Christmas Day. At least give him something. So when they're saying to Ralph, don't feed them. Feed us, Ralph. Feed us. And we'll feed you lemons. We will. You know you want the war arc. You know you want the fucking the battle of the 5 armies, Ralph. Just play ball. Just ignore Gator. You usually do when he's talking sense anyway. But don't pretend that there's a show. Don't pretend that there's a show. Right, Ralph DDoSed the stream there. He DDoSed the stream. We had a text from Ethan there telling us that war is coming. Winter is coming. But that's what should happen. He says, yes, I do understand it. He does understand the maxim, do not feed the trolls. It is usually the best piece of advice you can give to someone in my position. No, it's not. No, it's not. Someone in your position who is essentially a drama commentator. You know, you're no better than all of the various other drama commentators on the internet. That's what you are. That's your bread and butter. You're not a journalist. You're not Hunter S. Thompson. you, you're no one. You're no one. The only thing that gives you any relevance and clout is talking about drama. So the best piece of advice someone can give you is to talk about the drama, Ralph. My God. Good God. Maybe I'll bust out the full Nixon afterwards. But however, there are two problems. He says, one, I'm not very good at ignoring bullshit, and I never have been. The whole reason I've gotten known in the first place is because of my extreme pettiness and nasty takedowns. I mean, at least that's a bit of self-awareness there, isn't it? At least he's not saying he's gotten known in the first place for being the hero of Gamergate and the skull crusher of Carl Benjamin. No, he's known primarily because of his extreme pettiness and nasty takedowns. Just off the top of my head, the nastiest takedown I could probably ascribe to Ralph was sending PPP's asshole to PPP's grandfather. That was a problem. That was a nasty takedown. And extreme pettiness. Extreme pettiness is probably wishing Sargon's angel baby. I mean, what did he say? He was happy it died or something like that because Sargon insulted his shekels. That's literally what happened. I got the clip for the documentary. Sargon insults Ralph Shekels, and Ralph just decides to kill the angel baby. What a disaster. And he says that it doesn't come naturally to him. So it doesn't come naturally to him ignoring the bullshit, which is good. So why is he ignoring these base urges that he's got? We want a war, Ralph. Like, everybody wants a war. Everybody wants a war. We're all psyched for a war. We've all got ammo. You're saying the worst shit about me, right? You're calling me the life ruination troll. I mean, you're calling me the final boss. You're saying that I'm an MI6 fucking intelligence operative. Like, what is wrong with, let's just go. Let's do this. Let's do this, Ralph. Let's fully fucking put on the table. Whether or not we're feds, whether or not we're just laughing at you because you're a fat alcoholic retard on the internet, or whether this is all fucking GCHQ and Boris is there filming. My God. He says also, number 2, silence in the face of massive slander and libel is not always the right call. So he's parroting the Mr. Vickers line where he says that silence is the fruit of degenerates. So Ralph recognizes that. Slander and libel, these are really like legal terms. This is legalese here. And what this is telling me is that probably there's a lawsuit coming. He's been talking in various legal jargonisms for a while now, And I think there's a lawsuit coming. I think there is a lawsuit coming, and it's going to involve Dick Masterson. It's going to involve a great many people being sued for pointing out the truth. But I can't wait to read this again in court. I can't wait for the best lawyer money can buy to read this in court, as Ethan Ralph is standing there trying to defend this. So today I've decided to step out of the shell of silence and address a few things. Now, press 1 if you think that no, stop, don't press 1. I'm going to give you 2 options now. 2 options. Press 1 if you disagree with Ethan Ralph being in a shell of silence all this time. That one was Gator. Gator's just told me that he's got a bullet with my name on it. He's going to fly out to London here and end me. He's going to finish me. But yeah, press 1 if you think that Ralph has been in a shell of silence. Press 2 if you think that he's been a paragon of virtue and has been completely stum. Because this is garbage. This is a lie, isn't it? He's not been in a shell of silence. And this isn't the first time he's decided to step out of the shell of silence. There have been countless articles at this point. The last one, he was calling his ex-girlfriend a meth crone, a sort of a woman that had been beaten and fucked by a Keanu Reeves magician man who bought Ethan Ralph lunch. But he's been in a shell of silence, folks. He's really been in a shell of silence. What a disaster. But he's got to step out of the shell of silence now and address a few things. He says right at the top of this list, the bitch I mentioned in the what? The bitch I mentioned in the open is crazy and completely obsessed with me. I honestly don't feel like counting all the tweets I just linked. But the mention number is in the hundreds based only off a search of my last name. If you count all of the variations in tweets where I am not mentioned by name, it could very well be in the thousands. And this is just since May 2020. So what he's done here is he's calling out T-Clips for tweeting about him. Vivaciously, it seems like. First of all, can anyone blame her, right? Can anyone blame her? I mean, Ethan Ralph has probably been the most current thing outside of Dick Masterson on the internet for the past 2 months now, right? He's been a fucking daily news item. There's always been something crazily new, right? I know T-Clips has like a personal horse in the race. But I mean, I think everyone is tweeting about Ralph hundreds of times a day. Like everyone is, right? I don't know anyone that's not. I've not seen a Twitter feed that's free of Ethan Ralph, or at least some mention of Ethan Ralph being fucking crazy this past month. Maybe that's just me. But I mean everyone's tweeting about Ethan Ralph, but now he's using people's tweets to say that he's upset. They're obsessed with him. Now it could be thousands since May 2020. Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know? There have been thousands of tweets about Ralph since May 2020 because since May 2020 we've had a cacophony of degeneracy stemming from the guns. We've had crazy shenanigans, folks. We've had like probably 6-7 anime arcs reach completion since May 2020. And they only seem to be carrying on. It continues, and it never seems to stop. He says, add that in with probably 50 or more clips posted on a YouTube channel, and perhaps you can begin to see the obsession. Now, I suppose here we have to believe Ralph, right? We have to believe that, and add a bit of context into here. Ralph is trying to spin the narrative that T-Clips, Booba Lee, I don't actually know her real name, Beluga Lee, I thought that was the funniest one. He's spinning a narrative where he's saying that she wanted the little carrot there, the 2-inch carrot. She wanted to be thumbed in the bottom by Ethan Ralph. That's what she wanted. And he kicked her to the curb, and Walski said no, and now she's a spurned ex-lover, wannabe lover, and this is why she's doing it. This is why the obsession is here. So Ralph is coming home, and all of his suits have been cut up, and his little bunny rabbit there has been boiled, and this bitch is crazy, and all of these bitches are crazy because they've been kicked to the curb by Ethan Ralph. They can't taste the sweet, sweet gun sweat of Ethan Ralph anymore, or even hope to see it. So this is why they're doing it. Now, I would counter that with just this. It's funny. It's pretty fucking funny. Because, I mean, this is just T-Clips. This is just what T-Clips is getting. She's getting an article. Just an article here. Josh had like a mother's mugshot posted and a live stream. I mean, what do other people get? Like, what are the other hangers-on gonna get? You know, what's Phantom gonna get? what will Phantom get? Will Phantom get a screed? Will he get a paywalled show? I mean, you poke a bear with a stick and it bites back, and you laugh because it's in a cage and it can't hurt you. I don't know, but she's obsessed. She's obsessed. Now she probably is obsessed. I don't know T-Clips from Adam personally. I don't know who she is really. Maybe she is fucking crazy. Maybe she has got pictures of us all on the wall, you know, at home. Maybe she is naming stray cats after us. Maybe she is just completely fucked in the mind. Or you know, maybe she's just a clip channel. All right, so at a certain point, it gets really hard to ignore a psychopath like this. So last article, he did his very best to use every word in the lexicon to fully nail AIDS Zero to the cross. I mean, just from what I can recall, he started off by calling her a catfish. Then he said she was a professional liar. Then he said she couldn't write and read. Then he said that she was hooked on meth and Adderall. Then he said that she was a victim of domestic abuse. Then he said that she was weak for taking the punches and taking this Keanu Reeves wizard magical powers man back. Then he said that she couldn't even give a decent blowjob. And various other sociopath, narcissist, psychopath, the whole fucking lexicon there. Now he's doing the same with T-Clips. She's a psychopath. She's fucking obsessed. She's a psychopath. You know you should ignore a psychopath like this. But it's almost impossible, folks. It's almost impossible. Ethan Ralph is struggling with the urge every day. This is a person who has participated in the doxing of your friends, the maligning of your recently deceased father. These are bold lies coming from Ethan Ralph. The defense of posting your social security number online. Attacks on your pregnant girlfriend. So, let's just counter these one by one. Participated in the doxing of your friends. I don't know any of Ralph's friends that aren't doxed, personally. Like who is he talking about here? Gator? I mean, who is he talking about here when he's talking about... Like, we all know who Andy Warski is. Andy Pyers. You know, we all know who Dick Masterson is. Dax Herrera. Ooh. We all know who Gator is. Shannon Gaines. Ooh. Like what is he talking about here? Fagmenko? Is T-Clip sitting on the Fagmenko docs? Does anyone care? I don't know what he's talking about here. He talks here as well. The maligning of your recently deceased father. Ronnie Ralph ain't dead. I spoke to Ronnie Ralph mere hours ago. He was telling me about Tropical Freeze on the Switch. He was telling me how great his Canadian trailer is there. He was telling me how he's finally working up the courage not to wear the paper bag on his head because he's finally gotten over the fact that he's had to flee Guntsville, Virginia because Ethan Ralph is his son. He had to flee in shame, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't die. Ronnie Ralph isn't dead. Don't believe his lies. Ronnie Ralph is alive and kicking. And he's collecting all of the Kong letters in Tropical Freeze. Next fucking spurious allegation. The defense of posting your social security number online. So, Ralph's security number, SSN, not only is in the possession of Dick Masterson, you know, so was therefore publicly available and anyone who could access the back end of that website on New Project 2, but also it's been around, I found out, for like nigh on a decade now, since Gamergate. Like, the owner of Encyclopedia Dramatica had Ethan Ralph's social security number anyway, because Ralph gave it to him or something like this. So it's not even like it's a secret. It's not a secret. What can you honestly do with Ethan Ralph's social security number? You know, that he's not already doing. What, file false tax invoices, tax returns? Maybe, but isn't that what Ralph's doing anyway? So, I mean, I don't know what you can honestly do with Ralph's social security number that he's not already doing at this moment in time. Like, what illegal activity you could possibly be doing that Ralph isn't already engaged in with that social security number. But okay, sure. And again, attacks on your pregnant girlfriend. This one's a big one because she's not just a pregnant girlfriend. She's going to be the mother of the demon baby. But let's be real, folks, at home, out there. Let's just have a little moment where we're all a bit real. She's going to give birth to an innocent child who's going to be born into this, folks. No, I really don't want her to abort it. It goes against everything I believe in. Like, I genuinely don't believe that she should abort this baby. I think that baby has a right to life. And if she does terminate it because she leaves Ralph, then she's a murderer. She's a baby killer. Just like the other abortionists that he has on his show and associates with. This baby, this child, has a right to life. But it doesn't have a right to live its life under the parenthood of these scumbags. It deserves to be taken off them as soon as possible and given with a fit family. People who can raise this child correctly and not repeat this cycle of having another Ethan Ralph, of having another Faith Vickers. Attacks on your pregnant girlfriend. It's not about her being pregnant necessarily, although that's fucking crazy. The demon baby! She shouldn't be pregnant, but it's more than just attacks on your pregnant girlfriend. All right, that one was Freaky Faith there. Freaky Faith was trying to DDoS the stream, folks. Don't let it happen. Strong. There is courage in numbers. They want the baby to be with a decent family, and they want it to have at least a slither of a chance in life. I mean, what a terrible fucking set of are for wanting the child to grow up well and not, having to reach the bottle when it reaches the age of 14, because its parents are just total shit. One's in prison and the other's fucking crazy taxi, folks. The Faith Vickers story. But there we go. It's so impolite when somebody calls you in the middle of a fucking live stream. What's wrong with these people? Genuinely, what is the matter with these people? Okay, so at a certain point, it gets really hard to ignore a psychopath like T-Clips. You should know, but it's almost impossible. This is a person who has openly participated in the doxing of your friends, maligning of your recently deceased father, the defense of posting your social security number online, attacks on your pregnant girlfriend, and much more. The list of her crimes is endless, folks. Suffice it to say, this woman is very mad online about yours truly. Now that all her lies about my personal life have fallen flat, now that it's clear that none of the promises they made about me taking a new vacation are true, they're throwing anything they can at the wall and hoping something will stick. This is their only real strategy against me and the kill stream. Lot to unpack in that one. I don't necessarily know what lies she said about your personal life that have fallen flat, apart from her releasing those DMs where you asked her to go on a date to Dick Masterson's mansion, the Barbie Dream House. And she said no. And Beluga Lee said no. So, I mean, whether that's a lie about your personal life that's fallen flat, I don't know. But I think pretty much everything else that's been said is pretty accurate, isn't it? You did thumb the bottom. You did leak the tape. You did a various amount of things that are pretty fucked up objectively. They're throwing anything they can at the wall and hoping that something will stick. That's always been the strategy. That really has always been the strategy, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to throw darts at the wall and hope one lands on bullseye. As long as the darts are hitting the board, right? The little circle there in the pub. Like, he's saying that this is a bad strategy. This is the only strategy. And it works. It works far more effectively than anyone else, right? The new vacation. So this is him alluding to going to jail. It's strange how he calls it a vacation, like he's going to Butlins or something, like he's going to Blackpool, or he's going to Cuba there. No, he's going to be spending time at Her Majesty's pleasure, maybe at Rikers Island there, making fucking license plates. But it's a vacation for Ralph. It's a little holiday for Ralph. I'm sure. They're throwing anything at the wall and hoping it will stick. This is their only real strategy against me in the kill stream. Yes, that's correct. That is 100% correct. Is there anything wrong with that? Because that is exactly the strategy. Sadly, some are playing into their games. So he's calling out Dame and Rakata and all of the other snakes now. I'm not going to show you Spurgs a god. Is it really professionalistic? Is it really professional journalistic copy to use the word Spurgs in an article? Maybe it is. You Spurgs a goddamn thing. It will only lead to idiots saying it was fake or demands for more evidence. I won't be participating in that nonsense. You know, I won't clear my name. I won't show the world that I'm telling the truth. No, no, because what you're saying is baseless. Because I say so. Because Ethan Ralph is God. You know, Jesus on the cross. It's flagrant bullshit based on, you know, what I've laid out here. You can all believe it if you want. Either one is more fine with me. So he's not even like writing coherent sentences. These aren't coherent sentences. These are just not coherent. I challenge anyone to read that paragraph and just tell me what he means by this. You can all see why I don't go live more often, folks. So he says here, I hope bad things happen to the people who hate me. If T-Clips, this bitch, died tomorrow, I would laugh. If it's fuck me, then you know 100% that it's fuck you as well. This is how I've always lived my life, and it will continue until I'm in the dirt. Forget a channel. I hope your fucking plane goes down. The cancer diagnosis comes in. Whatever other calamity you can possibly think of. On that day, I'll wake up to a different sort of news alert, and I'll smile. Yeah. So he keeps it classy there. He keeps it classy. Just the one bit I did want to point out there was that he's frequently, as of late, been talking about his own mortality, talking about how he's going to be carried out in a box, as no one can bring him down. Only death can kill him, right? He's been talking in increasingly terminal terms, right? To the point where I'm genuinely wondering whether he actually does want to be taken out, murdered by cop. Whether he does want to be taken out, really carried away in the ground, you know, buried. You know, for anyone else, they'd simply say, it's the internet, I'll walk away, maybe I'll get a real job to support the demon baby. For Ethan Ralph, it's this, it's lemons or death or the ground. It's a mindset, a sunset mindset that he clearly outlines there, but it's a mindset that I simply don't get. Maybe I need to be, you know, a gunted alcoholic in my 30s to realize the sunset mindset, but I don't know. I think there's a bit more to life than D-Live and lemons. And I certainly wouldn't choose the ground or a grave in lieu of that. Now, I'm going to read the chat because it's going crazy now. He sees himself in Jim's death, Godwinson Spick says. Yeah, I think he does. I think when Jim dies, you're going to have a lot of people copy Jim, you know? Just like they copied him when he started grifting and opening up Patreon. And my fingers are so fucking crossed for the day that Toad McKinley decides to follow Jim into the cancer diagnosis and then eventual death. The day that Jim Clone 48 Gator decides to copy the cancer diagnosis and follow Jim into his grave. I hope Jim is like buried like the Egyptian mummies of old, the pharaohs of old, right? With all of their slaves and imitators in the same tomb, buried alive, buried alive. The grift continues. Toad has been very quiet recently. Well, here's the thing about Toad. Toad has been shamed. Toad has been shamed. He's not allowed to do his daily, fucking hourly, minutely Chantels anymore because I'll call him out and he knows it, so he's ashamed. He's ashamed of what he's done. And now he's hoping for a bit of distance between himself and the monthly Chantel. So he can at least return with a bit of credibility. Because if he returns now, granted, he's been disavowing Dax and Digibro because, I mean, who can defend that? But, I mean, he's still fucking dirty. His hands are still dirty there. You know, he's still associating with Leo Pirate, the dog fucker, there behind the scenes. But, yeah, no, he's keeping his distance. He's keeping his silence because he's ashamed of what he's done. Toad the Leper last tweeted on the 18th of August. Yeah, he's ashamed of what he's done. Honestly, this man is ashamed. The minutely, the secondly Chantel is no more. You know, Chantel's thanked me personally for putting the show on hiatus. She thanked me personally, folks. 27 shekels. This is it. Toad was a complete complicit motherfucker. I mean, he was complicit in all of this. And he did it for 27 pieces of silver, not even like a high number. alas, there we are. I can't see much in the chat. Rumblings of Aid dropping dirt on Ronnie. I mean, what can she say that we don't already know about Ronnie? You know? He struggles at Crash Bandicoot. He's living in a trailer in Canada. He has a special preference for a paper bag to put over his head. He's ashamed of his son, so he faked his own death. Like, what more can Aid say that we don't already know? Pontius Toad. Yeah. Coach commented last night on the Ballad video, shaming Jim, then realised his mistake, quickly deleting the comment. That's because Coach Fred Pill is like, just wandered off the bus, ladies and gentlemen. Like, he's got some sort of weird fucking boomerism dementia here. where he's just wandered off the bus. He's an old man, you know. And he's not even with us anymore, don't forget. He's a ghost floating around. Fucking Casper there. Haunting fucking children. Yeah, and watching Jim's streams there. Yeah, Casper Red Pill. I don't know. Maybe we need to work on that one. But instead of going boo, he goes yeah and shits everyone up. Gator will be the endless flame because his blubber will burn for eternity. I don't know. Like, if you read a lot of what Gator's been saying recently in his tweets and sort of saying online, he's been saying that people should start working out more. He's been saying that PPP especially should be losing the weight. So I don't know if Gator's lost a lot of weight. You know, I don't know if he's gone like the full, what is it, Penn Jillette. Remember when Penn Jillette was fucking massive and was funny? And then he went thin and started being like a Hillary shill. And just drastically unfunny, sort of like a male Kathy Griffin. He's maybe Gator will end up like that. Gator is ripped now. He's going to beat us all up. I hope he does. I mean... If we can't get Ethan Ralph on the road, hopefully we can get Gator in the ring, you know? I heard Coach bequeathed his drone cameras. Is it true? Coach left nothing behind. Coach's worldly estate was the clothes that he died in, you know? Poor guy. Maybe he was a millionaire in some other country, in some other life, but he died penniless. Gator will flag you for bullying if you post a Ralph Wojak. Maybe. Jeffrey Epstein says he'll fight Gator himself personally. I think everyone could fight Gator, right? Like, everybody wants to fight Gator. You know? Anyone... it's moving too fast. I predict Ethan will get drunk, Faith will protest, a domestic will happen, and Ethan will be back in jail. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure, in light of the investigation that I've been undercarrying with Faith, I'm pretty sure this bitch is crazy enough to snap, to go fucking crazy, and we'll see, I don't know, maybe fucking Joe Kender, the homicide hunter, investigate the case and do a documentary on that, because she's going to snap. There's going to be a domestic incident where she's going to either shoot him, probably in all likelihood, because she's trained, she knows where to kill, and that's how it'll end up. And yeah, I don't think Ralph's getting out of this one alive, sadly. Right, so shall I? I think I'll just go. I can't wait till we get to the Clue story arc. Yeah, I mean, nor can I. I think that's it, folks. No one's really... Okay. Losing weight in prison isn't an accomplishment. It's pretty normal unless you're a heroin junkie. I sideways. So I assume you're referencing the fact that Ethan Ralph lost a lot of weight live streaming. If you read that article, get this show finally on the road here. He talks about how so he could do 500 push-ups an hour or something silly like this. Another literary. He was like Conor McGregor in there, you know. He was working out. He was ripped. He was fucking the man. He got out. I mean, to me, when he got out of there, he did look sort of weirdly proportioned. You know, he had this weird sort of bobble head. He didn't look real. He didn't look real, you know. Let's just talk about those wedding pictures, by the way. We've seen those wedding pictures of him and Nora, right? Obviously fake, right? It's not just me staring at these wedding pictures and going, this is bullshit. So for a start, you've got Ethan Ralph not even wearing a suit on his wedding day. You've got Nora, a Muslim woman, wearing a white dress. And they're not standing outside of a reception. They're not standing outside of like a church hall. They're not even standing in like a periphery of any people that could be taking a photograph or wishing them well or waiting to catch the flowers. No, they're standing in a field. A field. And Nora's doing this, showing her wedding ring. I mean, is it me or is that just completely fake? Did anyone even attend this wedding? Like, for real, did anyone attend Ethan Ruff's wedding? Did this really take place in a field? Was this completely staged? Because I mean, I genuinely do think it was. I've seen the pictorial evidence of it being staged. They married in Cathay Bank. Yes, they did. The best dim sum is on the second floor. Yeah, she is very fetching. Reception at Poncho's, all the chips and salsa you can eat. Yeah. So that's it. I don't think anyone's got anything. What's the best Radiohead album? We need a native aristocrat take. Who even listens to Radiohead? Listen to fucking Elbow, you faggot. Ethan has no friends or family who loved him. I think that's pretty much it, you know? I mean, he doesn't. That's the sad reality of this. Maybe the demon baby will love him, right? Maybe the dark spawn, the demon seed will love him. But I don't think anyone who's currently alive, you know, loves Ethan Ruff, and that's a sad thing. Deepfake Metica is actually preferable to real Metica now. At least Deepfake Metica is doing its fucking job. The Kill All Pedos man, I think he'd had it in the pipeline for a while. And you know, it's as good as any gym video you're going to see. Certainly whilst he's dying, you know. The last gym video I saw, it was, 14 minutes on a man pissing his pants? I mean, is it just me? You know, and also there was like countless COVID streams where he's shilling for the Chinese. Is it just me, folks? Is it just me? You know, Jim's lost it. Jim is as good as dead, folks. Deepfake Metica is where it's at. It's enough to convince Coach Red Pill, and it's enough to get Ralph to spurg out all over Twitter, saying, it's not true! It's not real! It ain't Jim! Jim's a dying, sick man! Leave him out of this! It's been amazing. There's lots of chat coming in. I can't. Jim is hooked up to the tubes right now. Yeah, he really is glowing in the dark. Fake Jim is better than real Jim, confirmed. R.I.P. Jim. It convinced a lot of people. It didn't convince anyone. Like, it didn't convince anyone. You're deluding yourself if you think it convinced anyone. But it was good enough because essentially it was all of Jim's words, everything that Jim said in the past, strung together. And it's the video that Jim should make because it shows a pattern of behavior that he's had previously where he would have made a video on Ralph and it would have been an hour long and it would have been called The Ballad of Ethan Ralph and it would have outlined all of his crimes. And simply by stringing his own words together, we have produced this. Jim definitely liked it, I'm sure. I mean, is the man's opinion relevant now? You know? Soon to be dead Jim? But he can like it or not. I mean, we have the fake Metica now. He can pass on to the next life. You know, he can be buried in the tomb with Jade there, still alive. And we can all enjoy fake Metica. It had more production value than all of Jim's videos combined. Yeah, it did, yeah. Did you steal a water filter from PPP's apartment? Yeah, I did. Gator getting all the huffy talking trash about fake Metica, claiming everyone is a liar by memeing about the fake Metica being real. Like, if you have to if you're Gunt Guard and you're having to point out that the fake Metica is fake, then you've lost. You've lost. You've lost. We are all Jim now. We don't need him anymore. I agree, Margin Boo. Jade's getting all that Jim soundboard ready. I want to give my hot take on Jim. If you've kept up with Total Biscuit, you know, the co-optional podcast there, you know when Total Biscuit died, he left behind so much debt, such a shit show. He wanted to die in like a mansion that he was in so much debt with. He left his wife with like tons of debt, a new house that he just bought, and you know, and nothing really apart from video games to keep her going. So now the wife does like live streams with Jim Sterling, she still kept the show going without Total Biscuit alive. You know, she's still grifting because she needs to pay off these debts. And I think that's what's going to happen with Jade. Now, if you're not even familiar with the Total Biscuit lore, go back and watch my fucking endless videos on Total Biscuit as he was dying. You can see what I'm talking about, and you can see what the immediate aftermath of what we all covered there. But I mean, this is reminding me so much of the Total Biscuit shit. They've just bought a house, Jim and Jade. You know, they seem to be not really ready for the future. I don't know what's going on. I can see Jade doing live streams on Jim's channel. I can see that happening. Jim will leave us with Cam or Jade. I probably assume so. I mean, just look at John Bain's wife, and you can see what I mean there. Maybe you're all completely unfamiliar with the Total Biscuit there, but I've given you a. He died of like ass cancer, you know. I've given you like the TLDR. Jim isn't actually sick with cancer; it's a metaphor. So here's the thing, because someone said this to me. They said, well, you know, what if Jim isn't actually dying of cancer? I mean, you can't say that you're going to ignore everything he says or because he's dying of cancer. And I said, well, look, if I tweet Jim, if I have a conversation with Jim, that conversation could be his last because he's dying. He's a dying man. And I certainly don't want that blood on my hands where I could have been the last conversation with Jim, you know. It's like when Walt Disney died. You know, when Walt Disney died, the last words he said were Kurt Russell. And Kurt Russell's carried that through his life, this guilt that he killed Walt Disney. So I said, you know, who's going to associate with a dead man or a dying man? I mean, let him do his bucket list with Morgan Freeman there. Let him ride off into the sunset. And this guy said, oh, you can't say this. What if he's actually not got cancer? I said, well, if he's not got cancer, then who would lie about this for a start? That would mean like nothing changes. Nothing changes. Whether he's lying or whether he's actually got it, nothing changes in terms of how I'd associate with Jim from now on. You know, if he's lying about having cancer, then who gives a shit? Let him die. You know, let him carry on. If he's got cancer, who gives a shit? Let him die. Let him carry on. It's the same difference. If I was dying, I'd spend my last days on Twitter too. This is a good point, right? You know, I spend my last days on Twitter tweeting about COVID, Black Lives Matter, Coach Red Pill. You know, come on. So, I mean, I think this is the end of the stream. I think this is it. I don't think anyone's got anything spicy in the chat for me to bounce off. There's literally nothing. There's literally nothing. It's just Jim memes. But there we go. It's been a show. The flag war beginneth. I hope so. I hope there's something that continues. You know, because we're coming up to Christmas. Winter is coming. And what do we do? Do we constantly, like, go after the pregnancy updates, which are going to be pretty boring? Do we constantly start, you know, stream sniping Ethan Ralph in the hope he does something, which he will anyway? That'll be boring. I mean, we're out of steam. We really are. I mean, what is there left? After having the biggest microphone we could have possibly gotten this side of the internet and having PPP go on Nick Recator's show there and air all of the grievance about Ethan Ralph and Dick Masterson, like, there's nowhere really we can go, you know, unless they start punching back. You know, maybe we go after Fuentes. Maybe that'll make Christmas interesting. But at the moment, there's not really much going on. Yeah, there is the documentary. Yeah, we spent the rest of the day adding. I think it's going to be about 5 hours. The problem is the render. It just won't render. Like, it's not rendering for me because I'm using my phone's internal memory here. So I've had to buy a micro SD card from Amazon, and that should arrive tomorrow. And when it renders, it'll render in 4K, and hopefully, you know, the 128 gig SD card will be enough for the upload, for the full render. So that's why it's taking a while. So I've watched it twice now. Each time has been a bit different. The first edit was a bit conventional, and it was a bit, let's be real, it was a bit Toad McKinley. You know, it was a bit fucking by the numbers there. We went into, you know, how he was born, the circumstances, all of the stuff I've been finding out. And I just thought, I don't need this. Like, who cares? So what it really will be covering is sort of the major arcs in Ethan Ralph's life. We're starting from like the first DUI and going forward from there. So it covers pretty much everything. We've rearranged a few sections. It's told like almost like a Tarantino film. That's what I've been doing in my mind. We've got like a non-linear, out of sequence narrative that all ties together. Yeah, it's a good story, and you know what? Like I've tried to make it as emotionally affecting as possible because what we're doing here is we're dealing with like an alcoholic, and I hope, just as like other documentaries I've made gave people a fucking will to do something, I hope this genuinely does get people who are like hooked on the bottle to see something, maybe go to Alcoholics Anonymous, or at least do something that curbs their drinking, at least. Because what this does show, it does show like the complete destruction that alcohol and substance abuse has on your life. So yeah, I mean I can't wait to show it. We're all dependent on whether this SD card will arrive and whether it will be allowed to be rendered like that. T-Clips is a man? Probably. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I imagine she's got a bigger penis than Ethan Ralph anyway. Jim disappeared the same way he did when he got sick of Gamergate. No, don't be silly. When Jim got sick of Gamergate, he did a fucking statement where he referred to himself as like the president and gave the most egotistical, you know, temper tantrum I've ever heard. You know, oh, people are grifting. Oh, comes back and does the exact same thing. Will Boulder Talk be bought out by Microsoft? I hope it gets shut down. You know, I hope Monday Mac just gets the full employment contract from Uber Eats and clears off the internet. Like, I don't understand why he's doing IBS now. You know, out of the goodness of my heart, I gave him a bit of charity and decided to redeem the motherfucker. And now he's just decided to spurn all that, do shows with Phantom, you know, and try and like double team Dingo. Dingo gave a really good account of himself. Now, I've seen a lot like, Godwinson and Dingo had a private conversation. You know, they met in a car park, and you know, it was like the fucking JFK, fucking Nixon, JFK conspiracy there. Like, we had a conversation, if you can call it that. I basically said I think he gave a really good account of himself on that stream. You know. He's not fucking Rambot. He's not these crazy people who are gun guard to the last. Dingo is purely there because he recognizes, as many other people on our side I've spoken to recognize, who gives a shit about purity spiraling anymore? If you can use Ethan Ralph or some sort of degenerate platform to spread the fucking pro-white message, that's a good thing. And that's what Dingo does it for. He's not doing it to grift shekels. Maybe he's grifted shekels once for some woman's funeral. You know, for a friend's wife's funeral. Like, I don't know. But, like, he's not doing this to, like, grift off the back of Ralph's audience. Instead, I mean, he gave a really good account of himself and one that I can resonate with. He's doing it to siphon off whatever fucking legitimate audience Ralph has and get them to see sort of pro-white advocacy as a valid idea. Now, is that a bad thing? To people like Mundane Matt and Phantom, yeah, sure. But I think he gave a really good account of himself. And you know what? I think we should do a show, me and Dingo. Like, I'm ready to do a show, and I really want to talk about the Nick Fuentes Catboy article and Fuentes being fed with Milo, because I've been wanting to talk to people on the alt-right about that for ages now, and they've all been turning me down because Ethan Ralph is their mensch. And we're on a blacklist, but yeah. So there's nothing. There's nothing in chat. People are now Deus Volting in chat. That's when I know the show should end. That's when I know the show should end, folks. Godwin go when? Well, I'm going to try and get it set up. It's all going to be dependent on who can operate OBS, quite frankly, you know. And also, I've got a pretty busy schedule. At this moment in time, I am 100 stars exactly, 100 shine sprites exactly in Mario Sunshine. You know, at the moment, I'm collecting all of the fucking blue coins. But yeah, and then we're on the fucking path of pain on Hollow Knight there. So we've got to try and fit the Dingo show in just before I move on to the two. Um, Dingo has knelt and kissed the gunt, called himself a coward for what he said about Ralph, which was true. Look, Dingo is playing a fucking solid game, right? He is purely about the message. Dingo is purely about the message. If he can use a fucking useful idiot like Ralph and get on his platform and spew any sort of message out there which will resonate with people at home, bear in mind this is a message that's been censored off YouTube, that's been relegated to places like fucking BitChute, which is a fucking honeypot for GCHQ. All of this is fine. I think Dingo is probably the best out of all of them. Certainly more than Rand, who thinks that I'm MI6. You know, idiocy. You know, and when I watched that stream of Dingo, Mundane Matt, and Phantom, like, you know, Dingo couldn't have had sort of worse looking people come at him, really. You know, when you've got Mundane Matt and Phantom Organization coming at you, I think you're sort of axiomatically a winner in that situation, right? The lowest of the low. All right, all right. PO looked awful in that one. Matt basically said nothing. Well, I mean, they kept misrepresenting who Dingo was and misrepresenting his claims, right? They basically wanted to make him out to be a sniveling gunt guard, which he's not, you know, which he just isn't. Like, they basically wanted to project all of their fucking axes to grind on fucking Dingo there, and it didn't make any sense because, I mean, Dingo gave a really good account of himself. Like, he gave a really genuine account of himself. Yeah, I mean, he had enough of fucking purity spiraling. He's trying to get a message out there on whatever platform he can. Somehow, by chance, he's managed to get on Ralph's fucking platform and be a gold star caller where he can call in and talk to people and, you know, disavow the pedo shit that goes on and spread the pro-white message or whatever. I mean, it seems to be a bit. Is Phantom an animal perv? Now, I've seen evidence of there being like this weird. Oh gosh, where to begin with this? So apparently in Phantom's Discord, there's a hidden channel that's hashtag bestiality. Apparently there's, well, I say apparently, I mean, these screenshots don't look fake to me. I've been sent tons of screenshots of Phantom posting like gay porn and furry porn in that Discord. This goes back years. This goes back long before he was doxxed. This goes back whilst he was like DJ Axel or whatever. It's degeneracy, folks. What can I say? There's such a copious amount of it, and it's all been archived. And even though the Discord is being scrubbed as we speak of all of this degeneracy, I mean, there's just too much of this. It just adds up. It just adds up. Now, you can say, oh, does it matter if Phantom's a furry? No. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't believe or subscribe to anything Phantom does. I don't give Phantom money. I don't necessarily co-sign everything Phantom does. Well, I mean, I don't even know if this audience are necessarily, you know, the purest minded anyway. I mean, they all seem to be like degenerate fur fags anyway. So what Phantom is doing seems to be perfectly in line with his audience. But do I think it's a good look to you know, to do what Phantom does, have like a bestiality thing in his Discord? No, because I mean, it only leads one way, doesn't it? Doesn't it only? It leads one way. It leads to people pointing out what you are, making endless videos on it, writing articles, tweets, you being the center of a fucking storm. I mean, it won't end well. What can we say? What can we say? Yeah, but I mean, we now exist in a world where there are unironic furries out there that you know will shamelessly grift the mother's tears. A firstler, I knew it. Lord Godwinson will pay pigs like me be let into heaven. Well, Hondo the Razor, like, who do you pay pig to? Who do you pay pig to? Because I can't really answer that unless I know who you're pay pigging to. Hondo the Razor. Chat's moving so fast I can't really see. Dingo found his in with the Gunt's enemies. Dingo found his in with the Gunt's enemies. Time for him to stir up drama. Well, I mean, I don't think he's doing it for an in. None of this is doing what could benefit the white race, folks. None of this is about benefiting the white race. It's purely about having fun at Ethan Ralph's expense. So I don't think we're going to be the new TRS. I don't think Dingo's found an in here, folks. Some autist says, "What games do you play on your Switch?" That's a good question, right? So currently I'm playing the All Stars ports. Quick thoughts on All Stars there. Mario 64 is really good. It's still really good. All of these faggots that complain about the camera are just incorrect. If you've not been playing this game, all of your life, there's something the matter with you. The camera is absolutely fine. I know where all the stars are by memory, like literally by memory. So, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely fine. The only problem I have with the remaster, if you want to call it that, is that it's in 4:3. And if you're playing on your handheld Switch, it's not necessarily the best. But it's nice and sharp. The 64 textures have been rendered in HD, so they are sharp. And the colors are nice. And it does look like the best version of the game we've seen, to be honest, officially, certainly. I remember the Wii U one was blurry and dark, and the lighting was off, and it didn't look great at all. But yeah, the Mario 64 is great. Sunshine, I've done an about face on Sunshine recently. I really like how difficult it is. I really do. Maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe it's because I have more of a patience for certain things, but I really do appreciate its difficulty. Those levels, without Flutter, are genuine genius. I absolutely do adore that game. What more can be said? Galaxy, I've not really played Galaxy much. I don't like the way it's forcing me to use the touch screen and the gyro there to do the racing. But, I mean, in terms of like 3 games, you can't really ask for better games to be in one package, really. People moan about the price, but I think you can buy Mario Sunshine for £120 online if you want it officially. Sure, you can download and ROM and emulate a lot of this stuff, but I don't know. Yeah. What else do I play on my Switch? I really like Let's just do the top 10, shall we? Outside of Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, which are obviously the top 10. Hollow Knight's fucking really good. Fire Emblem Three Houses is really good. I've really been enjoying Hades there. Hades is a good little indie game that's just been released. What else? Like, I've been playing the Final Fantasy X and X-2 remasters. I mean, I had them for the Vita back in the day, but now they're on Switch. I've been playing Monster Hunter Ultimate in lieu of Monster Hunter Rise coming out. I've always been a fan of that series. Yeah, I mean, I think the Switch is a good console, but there are times when it just is appalling. Like, it will crash if you put in something that's a bit more powerful. There are massive frame rate drops on stuff like Fire Emblem when you're just walking through a simple monastery. Some of the Switch exclusives there are just appalling. Link's Awakening is terrible. I never really liked it when it was a Game Boy game anyway. Its remaster is terrible. I hate the way it looks. Hurts my eyes. It's full of frame rate drops. Both of the Pokemon, all 4 of the Pokemon games on the Switch are terrible as well. Luigi's Mansion 3, whilst it looks good, plays like garbage. I'm not really a fan of Smash. Yeah. People are saying, I like Link's Awakening. Yeah, because you're a contrarian. You're a contrarian that likes the worst of the best franchise, Yeah. Next, you're going to be advocating for Majora's Mask and fucking Wind Waker. Pleb tier games that are constantly being shilled as the best in the series, when in fact they are not. They are terrible games. They are terrible. Playing any JRPGs at the moment? Well, I suppose outside of like Final Fantasy and like Fire Emblem, I recently fully completed Dragon Quest XI. Here's my honest review of Dragon Quest XI, folks. So Dragon Quest XI, whilst I really enjoyed it being the definitive Dragon Quest experience. Someone who's been playing these games for years, folks. It really is the definitive Dragon Quest experience. It's got a really nice story to it, if cliche. I like the way it ties into Dragon Quest 3. The very end sequence of the credits leads into Dragon Quest 3 and Erdrick waking up. I like the graphics. I like everything about that side of it. I even like the voice acting, which is strange for because I remember the voice acting of Dragon Quest 8 being shite. But I don't know. There seems to be like a difficulty vacuum, right? It's so piss easy. You can literally not grind a single thing and defeat the bosses, you know. And the maps themselves are just straight paths. Whilst you've got monsters going around on the overground overworld there, a bit like Pokemon should be. There's not really a great variance in the enemies there. The soundtrack, after you've listened to it for like 100 hours, and you recognize that it's the same two songs on a loop, you know, the same two songs, whilst they're perfectly well orchestrated and delivered, they're not the best things to listen to. So when people say like Dragon Quest 11, I can hear the music in my mind, and it's not good. It's like an earworm. So it's got a really good story up until Act 3, where you go backwards in time and basically undo all of the good parts of the game. You undo Veronica's death. You go back to the Yggdrasil tree and kill the final boss there. And then you have a new final boss who's like this alien. And the final boss is really easy, like really, really easy. So, I mean, mixed bag, Dragon Quest 11, really mixed bag. I think I preferred 8 overall, and 5 ultimately is probably the best one in the franchise, the series. In terms of Final Fantasy X, I played that back in the day, thought that was really good. Never got the hate for it, and now it seems to be like people seem to widely praise it as the best Final Fantasy anyway. Although I think 12 is probably the best. I do like 4 and I do like 12. 12 probably has the better story. It's all politics and shit, you know. Hear the trumpets. Yeah, the trumpets are fucking like an earworm, Packer cells. Like an earworm. Whereas Fire Emblem Three Houses probably has the best music of a game on the Switch. You know, really a great soundtrack, especially the Battle of the Eagle and the Lion there. I urge you to type that in as you're listening to the stream. It's fucking great. Final Fantasy VII is the best, unironically. I played it again recently, maybe about a month or two ago. I don't know if it was just the remake that I played. I don't know. It's lost a lot of its shine for me. I found like the eco message to be so on the nose. When the girl dies, I mean, maybe people felt so much emotion back in the day, but I don't know. I feel as though it's shite. People really praise the materia system, how it's all customizable and stuff like this, but I don't know. I think it's overrated. I think Cloud as a character is completely overrated. I think, the remake, by the way, I played. The fucking remake. I played about, half an hour of it at a friend's house, and I thought, what have they done? What have they actually done? Probably the worst sample of the game I was on. The dancing segment, you know what I mean? The dancing segment that they've turned into a big fucking thing. Yeah. I don't like how they've turned all of the combat into real time as well. For me, really, Final Fantasy should be turn-based. The only exception I give is Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, which I really love. Cloud is so overrated. So overrated. The protagonist of, Final Fantasy IX outstrips Cloud so much. The one with the monkey tail, you know? Final Fantasy Tactics is the best one. Never really a fan of Final Fantasy Tactics. Always preferred Fire Emblem. Always felt Fire Emblem had it better. I really did, you know. And Valkyria Chronicles, I thought, you know, much better than Final Fantasy Tactics. Final Fantasy should just be straight up complex story, or at least as complex as they could possibly make it. Good spells, good job classes, and just give us massive maps to explore. You know, I'm not really a fan of twisting it into other things like Chocobo Mystery Dungeon and all of these other fucking weird, crazy schemes they've tried to do with the franchise. I'm not really a fan. Did you try the Dragon Ball fighting game? Which one? Which? You mean the Fighter Z one, right? The newest one, because there's like one out every year, right? I felt it was good. I really liked it. I liked the way it looked like the anime itself. It looked like the cartoon, and it was even animated better than the anime. You know, it had probably more uh, frames than the anime. Uh, I didn't like how the roster was so small. I know they're releasing DLC for like $20 a pop. I thought the story was good. Was it Android 22, 23, or something like this? It takes place sort of within the Cell arc. I really did find that to be quite good, because usually they just with these Xenoverse games they've been giving us future Trunks because he's simply popular in Japan, goes back, fights Broly on a loop simply because it sells toys, and the stories haven't really been great. Like, I've really not been a fan of the Xenoverse stories. I prefer they just retold the story of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT and Super, because that's how I came to know the story anyway, through playing stuff like Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi and all of those other games. You played Octopath Traveler? Yeah, I played it a while back. That's a different one as well. You look at Fire Emblem Three Houses and look at how it weaves the sort of all of those stories together. It does so with 4 houses, maybe 5 if you count the DLC, the Ashen Wars. But that is a story well told. Octopath Traveler sells itself on being 8 stories that all intersect. It's a great RPG with a great story, but it's so fucking boring and repetitive. It looks great. It looks really nice. It's like pixelated with these high-rendered backgrounds. It looks really nice. It's a really beautiful, engaging game, and I prefer they remake something like Dragon Quest V or Final Fantasy VI or even Final Fantasy IV like that, and not in a full 3D like they did with the DS and the ugly graphics. I prefer they just did these 2D Octopath Traveler style. Yeah, aside from that, I found Octopath Traveler so boring. I didn't find that the 8 stories intersected at all very well. In terms of story, completely garbage. I did like the combat system, but I suppose maybe I'm holding out hopes for Bravely Default 2 there, so I don't know. The remake of Secret of Mana 2 was Kino. I've played it so many times as a SNES ROM anyway, with the English patch. I've not really played the remake or the 3D version of it. People are saying Ear Juice ruined the stream. Ear Juice wants a rap battle. Not much faith in remakes after the Slapdick Secret of Mana remake. Well, I suppose the biggest remake is Final Fantasy VII and this Demon Souls remake. At present, I find Final Fantasy VII's remake to be just appalling. Just appalling. And it's not even the full game, folks. Apparently, it's going to be the first in like 5 games. Who wants that? Who even want? Do even like the Final Fantasy VII fanboys even want this? No, they don't. But apparently, we're in this world now where a remake is 5 games and takes 13 years to be released. Earjuice has never tried rapping. Okay, I'll give you one try. Godwinson, did you ever play Secret of Monkey Island? Yeah. The point and click fucking LucasArts game. Yeah. Still hoping for a full Mario 64 remake one day. Why would anyone want that when you can play Odyssey or even Galaxy? You know what I mean? Like, every Mario game is the same. It is genuinely the same. You collect a star. You finish the level. You bounce off walls. It's the same. The only thing that changes is the gimmick. You do a spin dash. You have a flood gun, a water gun, or you can throw your hat. Aside from that, like, you don't need a full HD 4K remake of Mario 64. I mean, you've got Odyssey, which is probably as good as Mario's gonna get. Nothing beats Police Quest 3. Not played it. Odyssey was a bit disappointing. It was okay. Odyssey was okay. I thought it was good. I was blown away by there being like 999 power moons there. When I got to the end point where you're back in Nintendo 64 land, where it's the Mario 64 fucking costume, and you've got the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's the opening of Mario. It's the outside of the castle in Mario 64. That blew me away, and it was great. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I do think it's overrated, but it is the second best game on the Switch outside of Breath of the Wild. Well, I don't know, chat. Like, I mean, you're saying that Sonic Mania is good. Like, I don't like Sonic. Never liked Sonic. I never. The one Sonic game I did like was Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast. Every other Sonic game I've despised. I genuinely have despised. Whether that's because there are so many like Sonic fanboys out there that tell me it's great, whether it's because it's been co-opted by furries out there and I simply can't play it, you know, I don't know. But I really dislike it. I really, really dislike Sonic. The best Sonic to me is probably Shadow the fucking Hedgehog, where he's on a motorbike. That's probably the best Sonic for me, you know. The most unsonic thing in Sonic. Sorry, folks. All right. We'll do a few more, then we'll go. Devil May Cry 5 looks cool. Yeah, it really does. A big fan of those Devil May Cry games. I like Onimusha as well. Onimusha's great. Sonic Rush was the only good Sonic. I don't know. I thought Sonic Adventure 2 was good. The one for the GameCube was terrible. What was it? Sonic Heroes. Real shit. Shadow the Hedgehog was good. Did you play Golf Story? No, I haven't. But I've heard it. Here's the thing about these indie games that people recommend me. The only good indie game I've played, straight up, is Hollow Knight. Straight up. Maybe Cave Story, you know? Cave Story and Hollow Knight are probably the only good indie games I've played. Undertale, pile of crap. So many people recommended it to me. I thought it was going to be like Earthbound. Earthbound 4, you know, Mother 4. I mean, those games are amazing. Really well written. A nice bit of sardonic humor going through the whole storyline. Bit of irreverence going through the whole thing. Unlike any other sort of RPG, unlike any other game you've ever played. Nice, clean graphics. Mother 3, probably the best of the Game Boy Advance games. The entire roster there. People recommend Undertale to me. What a pile of crap. Every other character's like a tranny. It tries too hard with its humor. It's just total garbage. The fact that it's got like countless Funko Pops and plushies and bedspreads made completely baffles me, folks. So I really disliked Undertale. You know, what a load of crap. Celeste is another one, right? So Celeste is another one, right, which is just complete garbage. Probably my favorite genre of all time is like incredibly hard as nails platformers, where you've got to be just so fucking in the zone, so juiced up to play them. So I was recommended Celeste, right? Apparently it had all of the best features of a hard as nails platformer. It's really going to keep you going. It's really going to fulfill that need you have. I'm told as well that the story is